Africa to America, toiling in the fields. From Africa to America, whipped to meet the yields. From Africa to America, freed but still not free. From Africa to America, Allah brings true liberty.
May Allah's peace and blessings be on you. The human beings on this planet Earth have been created in different colors: white, black, yellow, brown, and so on. They are spread all over the planet in groups known as nations. They speak different languages and have different cultures based on their geography and customs of their ancestors. One of the teachings of Islam is the equality of human beings regardless of race or color or culture. This great principle of Islam is demonstrated every year at the Holy Kaaba in Mecca during the Hajj, when millions of people, men and women from all parts of the world, kings or queens, rich or poor, scientists or presidents, walk around the Kaaba with identical dress, shoulder to shoulder, without any distinction of race, color, nationality, or status. This great demonstration of equality of man at Kaaba is a testimony to Islam's firm stand that all human beings have equal rights. Allah will judge them for their deeds and not for their colors or nationalities or race. Let us read the ayah from the Noble Quran. Quote, O mankind, we have created you from a male and female and set you up as nations and tribes so you may recognize and cooperate one with another. The noblest among you with God is that one of you who best performs his duty. God is aware, informed. Unquote. During the early years of his mission in Mecca, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, abolished slavery, which was deeply rooted in the Arabian society. Slavery was also common among other nations of the world at that time. The famous event of Bilal's freedom from slavery is a clear proof of the Prophet's effort to remove the evil of slavery from society. Bilal was a slave whose family originally came from Ethiopia in Africa. When he met the Prophet, peace be upon him, personally, and heard the recitation of the Quran, Allah's guidance came to him. He declared the oneness of God and accepted the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as the messenger of God. His master, Umayyah bin Khalaf, considered it as a big shame to see his slave converted to Islam. He took Bilal to the desert, forced him to lay on the hot sand with his bare back, put a hot rock on his bare chest, and then asked him to reject Islam. But Bilal said, Ahad, Ahad, Allah is one, Allah is one. His master then dragged Bilal through the streets of Mecca with a belt around his neck, whipping him on his back. But the determined Bilal kept saying, Ahad, Ahad, Allah is one, Allah is one. Umayyah had designed this punishment as a model for all the other slaves in Mecca to prevent them from converting to Islam. Abu Bakr, a rich man in the society who had converted to Islam, made an offer to the master to purchase Bilal and free him. Umayyah accepted the offer. Abu Bakr took the freed Bilal to the Prophet, who was happy to see him as a Muslim, free from the bonds of slavery. Bilal was among the closest companions of the Prophet and was on the same level as Abu Bakr. Prophet Muhammad used to say, quote, Bilal is among the people of paradise. Unquote. Later in history, when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, migrated to Medina and built the mosque, he appointed Bilal as a muezzin of the mosque. The muezzin is a person who calls for prayer 5 times a day from the mosque. Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, is known in the Islamic history as the muezzin of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he was among the highest of the companions of the Prophet.
حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح الصلاة يا رسول الله.
When the tortures and the punishments to the Muslims were intensified by the non-Muslim Meccans, a few of the companions asked the Prophet, peace be upon him, to show them how to get relief from the cruelties of the Meccans. The Prophet, peace be upon him, advised them to go to Abyssinia, the present-day Ethiopia in Africa. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, quote, "There is a righteous king in that country, where no one is treated unjustly, and it is the land of truth. Stay there until Allah will bring the relief from what you are suffering." Unquote. The Prophet had never met nor spoken to the king of Abyssinia, Najashi. Yet he was sure that his companions would be safe and secure there, even though the king and the people of Ethiopia were Christians. Don't you think this was an inspiration to the Prophet? Ja'far, who was the brother of Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, became the leader of the group of Muslims, about 20 families, who migrated to Ethiopia in Africa. The Prophet trusted the people of Africa and the king Najashi for the safety and security of the Muslims. The leader of the Muslim group narrated the message of Islam in the court of Najashi and recited the Surah Maryam from the Noble Quran.
واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا.
Najashi refused to expel the Muslims from his kingdom and gave them refuge indefinitely. Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, vision and inspiration about the African king Najashi and his people is further evidenced by the following facts. The day the king Najashi died in Africa,